curiosity, does the mayor's budget entail law enforcement, or is that completely separate?
You have the chief of police under it. It's a division.
Okay, because when I think of concerns, and I think of Sacramento in the same sentence, that's my first concern.
Crime is your biggest concern?
Absolutely, law enforcement.
So in your assignment to me, you'll develop an online community to get feedback on crime to the.
That's probably exactly
Cool.
what I'll do
I'm
now.
delighted to hear that.
Traditionally, all over the state, law enforcement, police are always one of the biggest elements of the budget. In part because municipal so often is one of those things that the cities the city budget doesn't include schools. Since that's completely separate from the school district. So if you take out all of the education, which is the other huge
crime is the other one.
So what's left with city services are basically law enforcement, public works, transportation type, roads and things of that sort, parks and rec. And then some regulatory folk. But where you're actually outlaying money, the big money tends to be in law enforcement, parks, roads, that kind of thing.
Okay,
But every year, law enforcement is a big part of it.
In polling data, Ryan, on every poll that you do at a local level, the first concern of people is crime and safety.
So.
The second one is dogs and cats, just so you know anecdote.
I believe it. Well, my other question was then, how do you feel the big mayor, small mayor would affect that? Because I think you have a big, strong mayor in there and he wants to make the people happy in one aspect. He could kind of cut off of that. And that would worry me a little bit, that he would move money from law enforcement to other things to please the people, but they would forget about.
Well, the unions are not going to disappear. I want to call a spade here. And people still have to be elected, and certainly the police officers' unions here have been very strong. And I think whoever is mayor and whoever are council folks will court them.
Well, and it's also a matter that if if the mayor wants to lose, then have the crime rate go up.
Yeah, that's how people vote. That is how they vote.
This is not that complicated. If the crime rate goes up sharply during a mayor's administration,
it's bye-bye mayor.
Yeah. I mean, that's how people lose.
I think also to address your concern, if there was evidence right now that police and firefighter unions didn't have a lot of influence, but would have more influence if there was a mayor, then I think you may have a more grounds for your concern. Vallejo, that was facing bankruptcy a couple of years ago, has a regular city manager system, and not the only, but a significant reason why they were facing bankruptcy is because they had more captains and lieutenants and brass in both the fire department and the police department than any comparable city of that size. And they had given those guys incredible salaries and incredible benefits. That's this canard out there that, say employees can retire at 50. Well, not unless you have a gun. Right?
Then you get triple the retirement you do if you don't.
I mean, the rest of us got to wait until we're in our 60s. So I don't think it would, as Barbara said, there's always going to be unions, there's going to be development. The reality is in local government, the people who are interested in city government are developers and public employee unions. And that's where the most of the money is going to come from. That's always been that way.
One of the components of this plan is an ethics commission.
Tell us your name.
My name's Ryan.
And do you secretly work for someone?
I do.
Well, identify yourself in full disclosure.
Fair enough. My name's Ryan Garner. I work for the mayor's office. But one of the components of this plan is an ethics commission. I just like to hear. I know that this can take many shapes, and it can be paid staffers. It could be a citizens commission. What are your ideas?
It's a great idea.
How to effectively set something like that up?
I think it's a great idea. There are all kinds of models. I would look at it. We haven't looked at them. We would. Unless you guys know ethics commission's cold. I think what you do is that's one of the things you ask people about.
LA.
I mean, LA's working pretty well, actually. Yeah, and the ones that we've set up for police unions and police departments have worked quite well, where you have a citizen advocate. I think you want citizens to feel like you have an advocate in the mayor's office, and that's really what ethics is about. I mean, Tim is on the FPBC and he oversees it, but you want to be pre facto rather than post facto with it.
Yeah, but the FPBC was never structured with the idea that we were going to be advocates for
No, that's why I said pre
the
facto.
public. But I think if the LA Ethics Commission has an excellent national reputation. There's actually a organization called COGEL, COGEL, and give me your card afterwards and I'll send you the email. It's the National Association of Ethics Commissions.
And they have charters and, band-aids and explanations of how to do it, so just do that.
And they hold their conferences in really plush places.
Like,
I
Hawaii.
went to one, and it was in Scottsdale, and it was in this incredibly plush resort. The problem was, it was a 30-minute cab ride to downtown Scottsdale. They claimed it was because they got a really good deal on it.
Any other questions? Okay, well, I would hope, and I appreciate your coming out the week of finals bid week. I know you guys are all slammed, as we all are. I would hope that this discussion continues, that it's just the beginning of this discussion, and that we host them. I would suggest we had the mayor's, since we have the staff here, we had the mayor's report to the city here a couple years ago. I think that should be a regular occurrence. I agree with you guys up here. We're one of their largest constituencies. And if it's not the formal where we meet with everybody, we at least have the mayor come breathe the campus community each semester and put some pressure on them, guys. I mean, I agree, you need to, and we'll help you. And thank you for coming. And you can talk to any of us individually, and you are now adjourned.